to another episode of Them and Us.
Hello.
In my previous video, I mentioned my sister Carleen, and we were talking about, well, I was talking about, school life. So the question I'm going to pose, how does school set you up for life skills?
And the reason we're posing this question today is, as you all know, school's been locked down for 6 months. And their argument is the children have been out of school for too long. Our argument is, if the children can't catch up 6 months worth of school work, they must be stupid. Just stupid. Because really, can 6 months worth of not being at school really push
that
detrimental effect on you? First and foremost, all the exam results that are coming through, right? They use some method. Now, some of them some of them were right, some of them were wrong, some of them were questionable, right? Because one of my children now, he's questioning one of his results because he always gets 7 and 8 in geography, and all of a sudden now, with this nonsense going on, they gave him a 5. He's never operated at a 5, so we're questioning that, right? But at the end of the day, how does school set our children up? Because they've all left school and they ain't got no life skill. The other day, one of my sons come to me about he wants bank card. His friend said. They don't learn these things at school. Is it down to us as parents to sit them down and teach them about banks and how they operate and everything like that? Because really and truly, that should be down to the school to teach our children some life skills. So when he comes saying about friend, I said, your friend said, what? I can get a bank card. I said, you can. Can you get me one, please? Yeah, I can. So I did. I went and got him a cash card. When my boy get the cash card, my boy's trying to set it up on PayPal and pay for stuff over the counter with debit card. It's not a debit card, it's a cash card. Why doesn't this work? I said, why doesn't it work? I said, it does. It's a cash card. You need to go and draw money out of, but I wanted it to buy stuff. I said, why? You're not old enough yet, right? You want to go and spend money that you ain't got on the card. You have to put money on the card. How do I put money on the card? Didn't your friend tell you? Your friend never tell you that. You have to go into a bank with some money, give it across the counter with your cash card, and they put it on there. Then what? Then I can go, no, you can't go and buy nothing with it. It's a cash card. You have to use it to take money out the side of the machine, and then you can purchase. Now, all our children are leaving school with no life skill.
No, because that should come under the heading of what? Maths.
No,
yes.
maths.
No,
business
maths.
studies.
No. Business studies is another. We're talking, let's start from the age of 11 when you start secondary school. You start your life skills, because life skills is an ongoing growing thing up to the age of 16 or 18, depending how long you need to stay on at school or sixth form. But if you start the life skills from when they left primary to the beginning of secondary, it will all make sense by the time they leave, and then you wouldn't be asking for a card. You would have known, yeah, because at the end of the day, maths, right, we all know about maths, basic, they were talking to us about pi. You tell me what you're going to use in pi in society, right?
What are you going to use pie chart for?
So instead of telling you about pies and the square root of, yeah, what they should have done was saying, well, you do your basic arithmetic, your times tables, your multiplications, your divide. These are the basic functions that you can add up, so you can budget yourself. But on the back end, when you get this amount of money, then you turn it into money to value, you have different sections of, cards. This is what you need. You go into a bank. Oh, somebody will say, well, what's a bank? And then, it's all to do with monetary value, money, things, numbers, figures. That should be on the back end of
how
the
do you work
lesson.
out percentage?
There you
They
go.
Children percentages, even if they don't understand, you don't just roll out a child and they don't understand percentages. We are not teaching our children life skills, neither at school, right? We teach them life skills when they come and ask, but we need to be teaching them life skills.
Most of them go astray before it all goes wrong.
Yeah.
And by the time it's too late to even, claw it back.
Yeah, because we talked about like simple things like making beds, for an example. Simple things like making bed. How many children get up in the morning and make their beds before they go to school? They get up these days and they label them with all sorts of nonsense. ADHD.
They've got a name for everything. you leave your room untidy.
Yeah.
There's a label for that.
Yeah. You backtrack the teacher you called odd, ODD, yeah? Official defiance disorder.
There's a label for everything. My argument is talk about core values yet again.
Core values.
Core values from home. From when you open your eyes, the first thing you do, you roll out of what?
A bed.
You may not even have a freaking bed, but whatever you roll out of,
You need to
freaking
know that.
spread it back up again the same way, yeah? So that's the first thing you do. You roll and you think, how am I going to start my day? The first thing you want to do, mate, is go straight to that bathroom.
Yeah.
Where else you going? Kitchen? What for? To go mix up with your member of your family? No. The core values are you get up, you roll out your bed, you make it, then you head to the bathroom. Whatever you do in the back end of the bathroom, that's your business. If you want to walk out the road naked, that's the bit you're not going to do that, are you? Because common sense tells you it's one thing you need to brush. You need your hygiene levels because you're going to mix with people. You know what I mean? Not because you had a bath last night, you shouldn't have one in the morning. Well, I'm sorry. I beg to differ. Yes, you do. So, when you teach them basic skills like that, do you know what I mean? That's how they grow and want to question. In fact, what they see you do, they should be mimicking, really. You know what I mean? So, yet again, core values, you learn from home, but they still should instill it at school. It's no point. I mean, how many times have you gone into your workplace in the past, many years, and you've actually shared an office with somebody, Carl, that the hygiene levels are not quite there.
Yeah.
The first thing you say, I'm too embarrassed to tell them, right?
I do not sack them.
Well, there you go.
Simple. Just sack them.
Because
if they can't be bothered to respect your space, then they don't need to be there.
Especially when you're sharing your space with somebody else. Now, you must know, but you think it's okay for somebody else to enjoy your odour. Well, I'm sorry, God gave us these.
Common sense and smell. Yeah.
Well, these are your senses, right? Listen, your senses, you were born with them. If you choose not to use them, at the end of the day, that's your business, but you don't expect anybody else to adhere to or to endure what you can't be bothered to do in the morning. Like, seriously. Do you know what I mean? So, even that at school, you're supposed to teach children, because if some parents, don't get me wrong, some parents, don't have it all there to teach their children. Somewhere must. So if it's not at school, it's at home. If it's not at home, it's at school, but somebody, but nobody? Come on now. Core values, how should be done from school. That's the basic principles of everyday life, because I tell you what, by the time you leave at 16 or 18, most of them can't boil water. I didn't even say an egg. It was water. Because a simple task you can't do. What? Because you think that because you're quite intelligent and you're quite academic and you've got A+ in your class, but you don't know how to spread your bed and clean your teeth in the morning and set your hygiene levels, yeah? Who are you? What are you? You're just a bum at the end of the day. You know what I mean? A very intelligent bum. Because at the end of the day, all this sets precedents for how you're going to live amongst other people. And if somebody keeps on running from you and you can't understand why, no one's going to tell you why.
No.
Because everybody feels embarrassed.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be embarrassed.
No.
Someone should be able to come and say, excuse me, mate, look, I'm not quite sure if anybody told you, but...
You sort it out.
And if they want to come back at you, that's fine. But at least it's just like you've gone to the toilet and you put your skirts in your knickers and walk out. Is someone going to allow you to walk round with your skirt in your knickers all day, or is somebody going to tap you on the shoulder?
So you've got your skirt tucked in.
All right. But people don't.
No.
So people just let things slide. But common sense at the end of the day should, core values at school, life skills at school should be taught from school and at home.
Yeah.
And then you will get the balance.
Yeah, manners. Let's talk about
manners.
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 Yeah.
We had plenty. Listen, can you imagine not having manners growing up?
We were told that manners takes you far.
All right.
And we found out that was true, yeah? Because I see enough people get sacked because they're rude and out of order and don't know how to talk to people. But we were taught that manners takes you far.
It does afar.
And nowadays, they don't even know what the word means, let alone how to spell it. And it's very, very sad because it just changes the whole ethos of people and the whole atmosphere when people don't have no manners. It's just rude and out of order. So manners is another key skill.
A lot of them don't have manners. You're absolutely right, because they're, a youngster, and we're talking about, forget about, children, but, teenagers.
Yes.
When they come home from school, normally they will open the door and they run upstairs. And then you only hear the door, and then you realise, oh, that must be so-and-so.
Yeah.
Just happens one day it ain't so-and-so, and you just assume it's so-and-so because they didn't have the decency to come say, afternoon, mum, or afternoon, dad. Do you know what I mean? My children could never bring anybody in the house without coming to see me first.
Yes.
And saying good
right.
evening, because the house burned down. I need to know why. I've got all my children out, but there's somebody left burnt alive in my house because I didn't know. They could never. And every child that used to come into our house, they would have to come and say hello. Why? Because that's how we were taught.
Yeah. They have to come and say hello.
But these children don't. And the things, where does that come from?
Yeah.
That it's okay.
Well, it needs to be instilled in them from when they don't have any sense, right? From when they're little children,
when they're toddlers.
and they know no difference.
Because the first thing, even as a mother, you've got your little toddler, you say, good morning. You give them that cheery morning, they'll know, oh, it's morning. Oh, good afternoon. Do you see what I mean? That's what children do.
Yes,
they'll know
please and thank you.
Not what?
Huh?
Yeah. All that. I remember being taught at school how to use a knife and fork back in the days. Yeah. It was table etiquette. We learned that. We got taught that. Till this day, I pride myself on it. When somebody gives you something, no matter how simple it is, it's thank you. Don't, you know what I mean? Or, just common courtesy, may I have, not give me.
Yeah.
If a child says something to me, I don't know if you've noticed, and I don't believe they've answered me the right way, I don't answer them. I actually don't answer them because they'll think about, why hasn't she answered me?
Yeah, of course.
I haven't heard you. Yes, because I haven't heard you.
No, you haven't addressed me properly in any form or fashion, or even as an adult. So I will extend the same courtesy to you.
And this is how you have manners and respect will go afar yet again. The sooner they get the manners and respect in check, they'll realise that you'll do anything for them. You'll get their attention.
Yes.
You see, so it works both ways. If a child addresses you in a decent manner. But the thing is, I've always said, why is it easy for children to just do what they feel like instead of doing the right thing? And it's not as if they don't see people doing the right thing. I've always said, like, you watch movies, everybody's everywhere, it's spick and span. But in real life, it isn't.
No, people live like hoarders.
Hoarders. But if you're hoarding, that means your brain ain't free.
No.
If my children could never come and say to me, oh, mum, have you seen my trainers? Or have you seen my trousers? Or have you seen my dress? The first thing I'm saying to them, whose is it?
And the second thing you're saying to them is, where did you put them? Say, wherever you put them.
They're not mine. How can you be asking me for your things? If you put them away, like spread your bed in the morning, you know where your stuff is.
Right now I have a little boy, right, because I do fostering. Don't tell nobody I told you this, otherwise I'll get sacked. I have a little boy, all his shoes end up in my passage, right? Now there's 10 people in my house, 10 people. No, it's not Buckingham Palace, just a house, 6-bedroom house. And 10 people are in there. He decided he don't want to take his shoes upstairs. So you know what I do with them? I bag them up and put them in the garage. So when he come and ask me, where's my shoes? I'm going to say, where did you put them? Where did you put them? He ain't going to find them shoes because they're in the garage, And I ain't going to go in there looking for those shoes.
Sometimes you really have to take drastic measures in order for them to understand that when you say to them, take your shoes off and take them up, that's exactly what you mean. Because next minute, you're not going to be able to find them. Yeah. Are you going to walk on the street bare feet? No, you ain't.
No.
But that's your choice. That really is your choice. Because, we're going back to being young and working. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Core
value.
Yes. In order, we weren't given. We had to work.
Yeah.
And there's no point in thinking, oh, I'm going to go to my mum and my dad, because I need this and I want that.
Mum and dad, I never.
All right.
Can't go to them for no.
Yeah, no, so the word's going to be no. Where me forget it from? Where me forget it from? Save that embarrassment. Yeah. You know what? You decided to find your little, sideline job. I mean, I took on a new shopper job.
Yeah. And how old were you when you took that on?
Early age of 14 I was when I started my first new shopper job, and then it didn't stop there because that wasn't giving me
morning job, daytime job.
When I finished school, where did I ended up? Old people's home.
Old people's
Looking
home.
after old people
And cleaning.
at that early age.
Cleaning.
Just
Cooking.
to make a look or muckle for yourself to survive, because we had core values.
Yes. And then, after we finished cleaning old people's home, our next job was working in a restaurant.
Oh yes.
Don't forget the restaurant.
Yeah, the restaurant. Oh
Restaurant.
God, that was an eye opener. You learn new skills though. Even to this day, you know, I peel an orange. I do it the way they taught me. You know, when you take out the segments but without the skin, and you have to literally cut it and pull it away because, you know, the dessert bit. You learn some skills that stay with you, you know. You'd be surprised. As simple as it may be, but somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
But even then, we had to go and work in a restaurant.
Peeling potatoes and
Washing up as well.
washing plates.
Yeah.
They didn't have dishwashers.
So we knew that if we wanted something, we had to go and forage for it ourselves.
Yeah.
Not like the youngsters these days.
No. And then, after that, 16, we took the bus to Plumstead. I don't even think we were 16 yet. We were probably still 15.
No,
and
yes.
younger than that, about 15. We used to take the bus to Plumstead in the evenings after school and do what?
Something to do with fruit. We used to sort out fruit.
Sort out
You ask any youngsters where the fruit comes from.
factory.
Yeah. Ask them where it is. It just lands up in the shop. But somebody's got to sort it. It's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
You have to pick out the bad ones.
Yeah.
So the conveyor used to go
Yeah.
and literally quickly pull out the bad ones and then pack it up and then get the pallets. And
Yep.
I did enjoy that. I can't lie to you.
What did you enjoy?
I don't know. I think it's just a mechanical, you know, everything was running to precision. And because, you know me, you know, I've got this little OCD going on, but I enjoyed spotting, you know what I mean? The bad things, I'm flinging them to one side. And, you know, your palette was a good presentation of you, that you did your job good. Do you know what I mean? That the supervisor didn't come and think, oh, no, these need sorting. No. Palettes were on point because we took pride in the simplest of things you do.
Yes. And we sent them down the conveyor belt, and then they got boxed up and sent out to the supermarket.
There you go.
And we got through our life by, what do you call it, muku.
Trying to do a little something
Yes.
for ourselves without thinking, oh, I'm going to ask my mum and dad.
Yeah.
Because you know the answer was definitely going to be no.
And that didn't leave us, you know, because when we did eventually get our jobs, after we left school, we got jobs, right? Very high profile jobs. I was an accountant and you were
I started off as a receptionist,
And
then I went into a secretary,
two very powerful men.
and then a PA,
Then a PA.
for chief executive of various firms, and it just escalated from there.
And in the mornings, 5 o'clock when everybody was
Jesus.
sleeping. Oh,
Yes,
Jesus.
yeah, I remember them.
5 o'clock when everybody
On
was
top
sleeping.
of that, we used to go collect each other and go cleaning.
Cleaning.
Those were the
Cleaning.
good old days, eh?
Museum.
Yes.
Design
Oh God,
museum.
design. Yes.
What else did we clean? Boots.
Oh, banks.
Bang.
Yeah.
Offices.
Yeah.
We cleaned.
But then it helped you, showed you how, you know, different
And
companies
clean.
work.
Yeah.
And literally, you know, you had a spec. You know, and then I became a supervisor for about 23 people.
Yes.
I had to rope in your own staff, do the timesheets. You know, you don't just do cleaning, and I still will do cleaning.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with me. I'll do anything. I'm not going to give you something that I wouldn't do myself.
Yeah.
But it made you spot details.
Yeah.
Details that you will apply to your work,
Yeah.
to your home life.
Yeah.
Things that you would otherwise miss.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, even when you did them things, you still learnt by them, and it
Yes, you
still
did.
stays with you today.
Yeah, we all became managers in our own right, number
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
And then after we finished cleaning, we then went on to our 9 to 5 job, did we
Oh
not?
God, yeah. When
Well,
you're knackered.
yeah.
You know what? You realise that, you know, your fruit of your labours.
We had a purpose. And our purpose was to build our homes and do as best as we could by ourselves, right? And we didn't have to depend on nobody.
And I think that's where we get our
Self-sufficient.
self-sufficiency now. You know, as and I'm going to say black independent women, you know, we are self-sufficient. You
Very
know,
much
we
so.
don't rely, you know, I can change a tile like any other man. I can plaster and decorate like any
I call
other
it a
man.
he, she anyway. He, she.
I enjoy it. You know what I mean? It's what you do, because there's, you know, you think there's always going to be somebody around. And I'm not just talking about males. Could be anybody, but not necessarily. The same person we were talking about earlier in one of our other episodes about people being on their own. When you're on your own, you got to learn to do things on your own. And then when you have children, you're going to apply that to them. Don't rely on people. You could have people around, but don't rely on them. Be self-sufficient. Nothing wrong with that.
No, and get yourself some skills.
Yeah. Along the way,
Yeah.
but, you know, even the skills that we were doing, sorting, packing, doing, you know, all them little jobs, you know, and they got better and better and increased. It set us up for today.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. So one thing that we need to teach our children is life skills. We need to teach them life skills. And I think for me, I didn't even realise that I needed to sit my children down and say, right, this is this and that is that, you know, because I got taught it at school, funny enough, and for some reason it just fell off the curriculum. At school, they taught us how to use a checkbook. They taught us how to use the bank card. They taught us what the bank was debit and credit. They taught us which side was debit and which side was credit. Now you give the child a statement, they just look at it and dash it down, don't know what's going on it, yeah?
It's like they've dropped off that part of the curriculum which you need, you know, as part of life.
need it,
Although
as part of
they've abolished checkbooks now, haven't they?
No.
Or they're still using them?
Still using them. I just
Oh,
wrote one the
wow.
other day for the children's football club.
Seriously?
I did.
Oh dear.
Yeah, they still got checkbooks.
You must be the only one.
Dinosaurs.
Oh God. Just don't let nothing go this
No.
She's the only
Dinosaur.
one with a checkbook, I can guarantee you
Yeah.
that, mate. Everybody's got standing orders, you know what I mean, or direct debits. She's still got a checkbook. Hey,
I'm just
anyway.
checking. Give a child a checkbook now. Would they know what to do with it? No.
Listen, talk about checkbooks. Give a child a tape.
A what?
Exactly. You know the tape that we used to recordings on.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna say, "What's that?"
Well, they're going to use it and tie up the tree then.
My point. Ain't got a clue.
Tie up
But
the
so many things that have been left that you still need, I think, in this day and age, because you know, even when you go, you know, take away schools, but you know, people have to go to college or universities. This is where you throw them out from secondary school into the big wide world. You thought secondary was bad enough, but you fling them
Yeah.
into
let's talk about
university and college.
Yeah, let's talk about university while we're there. Sick thing. University. Now, one thing I said to my boys, right, you ain't going to no university. University can't help you. Now, I know a lot of you are going to slate me and tell me I'm talking nonsense, but my thing is you're setting them up for failure, right? Because they're going to leave university with 27, 30 or 40,000 odd pounds worth of debt. You know they ain't never going to be paid off, right? And when they finish their university, what they're going to do with the skills there? Yeah? Unless they're going to be a vet or a doctor, or they're going to cut holes in people. Why do they need to go to university? I've said to my kids, you're going to start from the bottom and you're going to work your way up, right? Because that's the quickest and easiest way in life. And even if you go to university, guess what? I worked for a number of companies. We took university students on after they finished, graduates. They still have to start at the bottom. Had to start at the bottom and work their way up. My thing is, how is university going to set you up for anything other than debt? Yeah? And my children have done very well. They started at the bottom and worked their way up.
That's probably why they applied maths from the secondary. They applied maths.
Not pie chart.
Not pie chart, maths, to set them up for debt later on,
Debt.
because that's the only thing
You're
that
just putting them in debt. For what reason?
Yeah.
I had a phone call the other day from this teacher at my daughter's school asking, so is she going to go to university now she's got her grade? No, she's not. And guess what? If you just encourage your children, because even through lockdown, right, I said to that child, don't bother wasting your time applying for no jobs, because everywhere's lockdown and getting that, and just wait till lockdown finish, yeah, and then stop stressing yourself out. That girl didn't listen to me. She kept on applying for a job until she got one, working for guess who? The government.
Oh, Jesus.
So, if you push them hard enough and teach them the right thing, if I hadn't taught her that she could do what she wanted to do and she could be what she wanted to be. So when that teacher rang me the other day, she your daughter going to university, my answer was no, she ain't, because she's working. She needs to make money. That's what we need to do. Learn, teach them how to make their own money, yeah?
Yes, because learning at the end of the day from the bottom makes you a better person at the top.
Yeah.
And most of these
Well
people...
said, sister.
Thank you. Because most people, I mean, you notice that even when I had to take on some students back in the day, I couldn't believe that they had degrees and masters. And I'm thinking, you ain't got a clue, mate. You're absolutely clueless. So, to me, university always taught me it teaches, you know, at university, it's all about, as long as you can show them that you can stick to something and apply yourself for how many years, in debt that is.
Yeah, in debt.
You're good to go for society. That's not teaching you how life really is.
No.
You know, just because you can stick at a subject for 3 to 4 years, doesn't mean that you can come out and start doing anything, because you can't, you've got no common values.
No.
You know, that's, you've got to fend for yourself from nothing to fend for yourself. And then after they've done a year, they've got to go out in the world and find their own apartment. Yet again. And then they struggle, and you wonder why landlords are fed up with having students coming in, you know, they don't know what council tax is.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Poll tax at them days, you know,
they don't know nothing about no bills.
Bills.
Bills is
No, because it was free when they were on.
Yeah.
They don't know about bills, water, gas, meter? No. Meter? No.
They don't know nothing about no bills.
They don't set you up for these things.
No. They don't. What they need to do is show you how to do a budget, how to do a house budget and what goes into it, what comes out. When I try to sit my daughters and my children down to do theirs, they just looked at me like, I don't need to do this, I know where my money's going. No, you don't. You really don't. Because you're going to keep buying stuff, your money's going to disappear, and you're going to think, let me give you an example, right? So today I had to ring my bank, right, and say to them, I got £22.95 going out to some skanky company that I don't know who they are. Can you tell me what it's for? When they looked at it and said, no, it's for a subscription. A subscription for what? Don't know, right? And this, if I did not reconcile my account, my bank account, which every 2 days it gets reconciled. You don't even know what that word means, let alone how to spell it. If I didn't reconcile my bank account every 2 days, I wouldn't have noticed that strange money was going out to a scamming company, I brought a bottle of oil months and months ago, one-off payment, and then all of a sudden money's coming up my bank account. I didn't know it was that company, but my point is, if you don't teach your children how to even do reconciliation, they don't know what you're talking about. They don't know how to go through their bank account. All of them, that's why they all get scammed and money keep coming out of their account and they don't know what it's for.
And they made it so easy, accessible, where you just tap, keep tapping. You ain't gonna go through your statements and check, because you ain't got through yourself the amount of taps you've done in one day, let alone the month.
It's true.
No.
It's true.
This is all, yet again, another thing I always say, they're pushing you towards a fast growing society that have no conscience in what they're doing. They're just doing it because they can, it's easy, accessible. And then when you wonder why people are in so much debt, it's because you let them tap. And then didn't they increase the limit in COVID when it was lockdown?
Yeah, but now
you can't go but you can't go nowhere to tap. No, they increased the limit.
They did, but then guess what?
What are they doing?
They took it back.
You're lying.
So they reduced all your bank.
Oh, I know they reduced all paper drafts and stuff like that. You see, taking it back, mate. Don't give me nothing.
You can't go nowhere. Do nothing.
It's all a scam. It's all a scam, like for failure, almost. If you don't apply yourself, but not everybody's built that way. You must know what you want as you're growing up, what you want to do, where you want to be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But a lot of youngsters are not built that way.
Yeah.
Easy come, easy go, especially the youngsters now. Easy come, easy go. Life has never been that way, and it will never be that way. You have to work and earn your right upwards to build yourself, how you want to create yourself, who you want to be.
Have to set yourself goals.
Yeah.
You've always got to have a goal, because if you don't get a goal, you'll get depressed. Even if it's a holiday, it's got no purpose. No goals, equals no purpose.
Yeah.
And my thing is, you have a plan or plan to fail. I've always said you need a plan or you plan to fail, even if it's a holiday, even if it's 2 days down the hotel, right just there down the road. You just need a plan. Even if it's for a massage, you need a plan. They're all part of the plan and purpose. Today I heard that Eurostar ain't stopping at our local station, Ebbsfleet or Ashford. It's going straight to St Pancras because they ain't got no money to pick up these people.
Seriously. But do they not increase fares on a regular basis?
Yeah, they do. But these people are now obsolete. They don't matter anymore. So you've got to
find your way to these stations to actually get to where you need to get.
Yeah.
And we're just going to accept it,
And
right?
we're just going to accept it.
Yeah.
It's part of the new norm.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, people, on that note,
Thank you for watching.
Them and Us.